Hello, welcome to our show Müthiş Türkler ve Dostları. Here's my friend Dimitris Mahlis. He is amazing Udi and oud player, but also he has lots of other instruments. That he is an amazing musician and he's a great friend, and I've been in his concerts and I'm a big fan. So I don't know if it is right for me to do this interview because I'm so biased. He is so awesome. I wanted you to meet with him and with his music. And Dimitris, can you tell us about yourself?
Yes, I started studying oud. At first, I was a guitar player, and then I grew up with mostly Greek music and American jazz in the home. And I started getting serious about these instruments maybe like 12, 13 years ago. I started going to Istanbul and studying, and I was very fortunate to, my first visit to Istanbul, to meet Necati Çelik, who is one of your masters, top oud masters in Istanbul. And we became friends right away, and he has been very gracious with me and sharing his knowledge. And so I continue to study with him and explore your beautiful music, which is so similar to our own.
So you are Greek.
Yes.
And when did you come to America?
I came very young, so I basically grew up here in America. But the culture was very strong in the home. I speak fluently Greek, and my father was from the island of Rhodos.
Oh, okay.
So he could speak Turkish, Italian, and then later English. But so, in that part of the world it's very cosmopolitan.
Yes.
Especially in the islands, there's everything, everybody comes together. So we basically grew up here, but the culture was very strong in the home. My father was also a cantor in the Greek Orthodox Church.
Oh.
So we had Byzantine music in the house, which is very similar to Ottoman classical music. So the very first time I heard Ottoman classical music, it was very familiar to me.
Yes.
It wasn't foreign at all.
Yes, many of our great composers actually, we love their music. Many of them are, in Ottoman times, they are actually Greek Ottomans.
Yes, yeah.
And maybe we are not even aware of it, we call it just Turkish classical music, but Ottoman music was a mixture of all these cultures.
I think it was really a beautiful mixture, I mean, the musicians never have a problem with each other.
Yes.
They always get along, and so, I think in those days, I think it was at the 17th century when the Sultan started accepting into the palace all the different ethnicities in the empire, and so all of the different musicians started contributing, and that's when the music really expanded, I believe, in Ottoman music. So you see, there's great examples of so many different influences inside of the classical pieces. You have Persian, Arabic, Greek, Armenian, and Balkan music as well, because all of those people were part of the Ottoman Empire at that time. So it's a wonderful blend, I mean, really, really special. It's much more of a blend than other strict classical musics from the region, like Persian classical music and Arabic classical music. Ottoman music has many more influences.
So the Greek music, and right now we talk about them as if they are separate, but in my mind they are siblings.
They are siblings, for sure. Yeah.
But for Greek music and Turkish classical music, what we call today Ottoman music, what kind of similarities are there?
I think the main similarities is probably in the church music, in Greek Orthodox church music, because that was the music that was there in Istanbul when the Ottomans came. There's of course many similarities in a lot of the popular music and things like that. Unfortunately for Greece, we don't have anything that we call a classical music specifically, like you do, which I think has helped preserve like a higher form of Turkish culture, So that's why in the last maybe 20, 30 years there's been a renaissance of young Greek musicians going to Turkey to learn this music, because they see something of their own history in there that maybe they don't quite have at home.
I understand. But you also know lots of Ottoman music and Greek music. I'd like to call it Ottoman music more than the Turkish classical music. And you have your instruments here with us. Would you give us the classical examples of it? And I'd like to move to your own
Sure.
music later.
Sure.
I just want to hear you
Sure.
performing our music, so incredibly beautiful.
Sure.
I'm so lucky. Vallahi çok güzel.
Thank you.
So you go to Turkey every year, or
Usually about once a year. I should be going in here at the end of the month.
okay,
going.
to polish off, or what do you do? Do you give concerts? What do you
No,
do?
I usually just go and I study for 10 days or something. I wish I could stay longer, but I have work to come back to. I have recording and stuff here, so. But I go and Necati's studio is on the Asian side, so I know the area at Kadıköy very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I go and I stay in there's a couple of different nice little hotels. And the restaurants are all very good, and we play music all day long.
That's so nice.
All different musicians come all day long, and singers, and we play music all day long.
So what is the reaction of Greeks to your interest, or Turks to your interest?
You know, Turkish people, of course, are fine with it. Most Greek people are fine too. They don't have an issue with it, I don't think, because it's so similar. I mean, most Greek people love Turkish music. I mean, because like we've been talking about, it's just so similar. So for them, it's something that's they love the sound of it. It's not we all respond. I think what we have in common, Greeks and Turks, is that there's the same expression of spirit. The way people express themselves is very similar, I think. And it's ironic now we have so many problems going on in Greece, but when you think about it, a Greek person and a Turkish person. As a Greek person, I have much more in common with a Turkish person than I do with somebody from Finland, and we're all supposed to be part of Europe together.
My cat wants to listen to your music. So attracted.
Yes.
You must have Turkish blood or Greek blood.
So you know what I mean? It's the only thing maybe that's separate or that's different is the religion or something.
Yes.
But the food and everything else is.
I think sometimes when we are trying to be enemies so hard, these similarities scare people. They're like, no, I don't want to hear that. I thought we were different. We don't like each other.
Yeah, it's really not true. I mean, I think it's much more evident when you're outside of the countries, because when I'm with Greek people like here or in Europe or something, they all have Turkish friends, and in a university, the Greek students and Turkish students are always hanging out.
Exactly.
They're always hanging out.
Exactly.